Shalom Akim. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, all glory to Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth according to the Bible through the spirit and power of Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI. And a sincere peace and salutation to all you hopeful elect Akim out there, pushing his word in all truth and sincerity, doing the work as Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI has created us to do, so he can wake up and seal the elect of the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and you Israelites who are scattered amongst the heathen nations that may look like the heathen nations, but your father's seed line goes back to you being the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American, one of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Shalom. It's your brother Halaki from the GMS Denver camp, coming back once again through the spirit and power of Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI with another video. And now I want to pull a few scriptures before I get this video. So I'm going to pull all the scriptures I want to pull first, and then we'll play the video at the end, and we'll wrap it up after that. This is Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. It says what? The second woe is past, and the third woe cometh quickly. Talking about what? The second woe is past is talking about World War II. World War III approaches quickly, man. There's nothing but tensions happening or building up between these heathen nations. And that's all according to the Most High's will. This is all to usher in what? The great destruction of America, Babylon the Great, because that's going to be the fate of America after World War III is fought. It is going to be destroyed by way of thermonuclear fire, because as it is written, that's how this war is going to be fought. And it tells you that in Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5, it says what? For every battle of the warrior is with a confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. This is how World War III is going to be fought, man, with thermonuclear missiles. You see? And the ones who are going to spearhead this great destruction of America is going to be Russia, man. You see? Russia is the nation that's going to spearhead the great destruction that's going to happen in Babylon the Great. You see? Let's get this real quick. Revelation chapter 20, verse 7, it says what? And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. That Satan being loosed from his prison is talking about Esau, Edom. After he was taken out of power during the time of the Roman Empire, he was cast into the bottomless pit for a period of 1,000 years, and he came back out during the time of what? The Renaissance, the rebirth of the Edomite nation. And what did he do? As soon as he came and got back into power, he went out and deceived the entire world. Right? It says what? Gog and Magog, which is Russia, to gather them together to battle. Because that's who the main players are going to be in this World War III. America and Russia. It says what? To gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And that's going into World War III, man. You see? This is what's coming. This is what's playing out right on the planet Earth, man. And they see that it's coming to pass. Right? I don't want to get it yet. Let's get Jeremiah chapter 50 and 9. It says what? For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. That north country is talking about who? Russia, first and foremost. You see? But eventually, all nations are going to be in on this destruction that's going to happen to America, because when you go to Revelation 17, let's get that real quick. Revelation 17, we'll jump down to the point. We'll start at Revelation 17 and 15. It says what? And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And it's talking about Babylon, the great America. Because what is America known for? Being that great melting pot where you can find all nations on the earth here in this place. America is the most culturally diverse nation on the planet Earth. You see, you can find every single nation from all over the world here in America, right? Verse 16 says what? And the 10 horns, which represents the EU, which thou sawest upon the beast, which represents NATO, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. So not only is Russia going to spearhead this, you're going to have the allies of America turn upon this place and shoot fire on it as well. You see? And why is this going to happen? Verse 17 tells you why. For the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. Because all these nations are doing is fulfilling the Most High's will. And what's the Most High's will for America? For it to be destroyed by way of thermonuclear fire by Russia and the other heathen nations, man. You see? So let's go back to that Jeremiah chapter 50. It says what? Jeremiah 50:9, it says what? For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon, which is America, an assembly of great nations from the north country. And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Now these arrows that is being prophesied about right here is talking about the thermonuclear missiles, man. You see? Those are the arrows that's going to be shot here to this place to consume it with fire. You see? Let's show you that. Let's get right here. This is 2nd Ezra 16. It says what? Yo, let's start right here. 2nd Ezra 16:13. It says what? For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. These arrows that have been talked about right here are the ICBM missiles. Because we know there's no physical way that a man can shoot an arrow from one end of the earth to another. But you can shoot ICBM missiles from one continent to another. Hence the name of the missile. ICBM. Intercontinental ballistic missiles being shot from the end of the earth, Russia, to say where? America. You see? They're not going to miss. They're going to hit their target. You can go read about that in Joel chapter 2. Verse 14 says what? Behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. And these missiles are a plague, man. These missiles are a plague for the land of America. You see? And they're going to do exactly what the Most High created them to do. What did the Most High create them to do? Let's get it. Isaiah 54:16 saith what? Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. You see that? So these nuclear scientists, the Most High created them to do what? To bring forth that invention the Most High put in their mind, to bring forth what? First and foremost with that atomic missile, man, that atomic bomb, which has now evolved into what? Hypersonic missiles. And the Most High created these things for one reason and one reason only, and that is to destroy, man. And that's exactly what they're going to do once the Most High puts it on the spears of these nations to push that button. You see? That's exactly what they're going to do. Now going back to Jeremiah 50, it says what? Verse 10, and Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith YAHAWAH bahasham YAHAWASHI. And why is this happening? Because you were glad, because you rejoice, or you destroyers of mine heritage. Because the land of America is the country that spilled the most blood of the Israelites out of all nations on the earth, man. Still doing it to this day. This is the reason why the Most High is going to destroy this place the way he's going to destroy it. You see? It continues on and says what? Because ye are grown fat as a heifer at grass, and bellow as bulls. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Talking about what? The UK. Because that's where America comes from, man. Great Britain. You see? So that says Great Britain is going to be ashamed of America, man. And it's already happening. That's why you had the UK break off from what? Brexit. I mean, the EU. You see, that's what Brexit was all about, which also fulfills prophecy. It says what? Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. You hear that? How is that going to be made possible? How is the what first and foremost, what is the hindermost of the nations? Where does the sun set? It sets in the west. And you don't go no further west than America. This is the furthest west you can go. So this is the hindermost of the nations. This is the end of the earth. You see? This is the place that's going to become a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert by way of that thermonuclear fire. Verse 13 says what? Because of the wrath of Yahawah bahasham Yahawashai, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished, and hiss at all of her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she have sinned against Yahawah bahasham Yahawashai. You see that? You see? She have sinned against the Most High. And this is why the Most High is about to destroy this place with the greatest destruction the world has ever seen. Sodom and Gomorrah is going to look like a fucking firecracker going off compared to what the Most High is about to do to Babylon. You see? And all nations that have thermonuclear capabilities, they're going to fire their missiles upon this place. Every nation. Go and look up nations who have ICBM missiles. And all of those nations that you see upon that list, they're going to fire them upon America as it is written. That's what's coming. Verse 15 says what? Shout against her round about. She have given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of Yahawah bahasham Yahawashai. Take vengeance upon her as she have done. Do unto her. You see? Everything that you've been doing from this place, from this land, all the treacherous dealings that you have been committing against these other nations, they haven't forgotten about those things, man. All those things are still in their remembrance. They're just waiting for the perfect time to strike. And that time is fastly approaching, man. You see? That time is fastly approaching. Man. Let me see. Sheesh, bro. So much. It's so much. You know what? Instead of reading all this, let's go to because there's so much in that. Let's go to Isaiah 13, because it sums it up real nice. Isaiah 13 and 17 says what? Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Those Medes are talking about who? The Russians. And that's what we see happening. That's why the Most High is giving the Russian scientists the know-how to bring forth hypersonic missiles, man. Something that America still can't bring forth to this day. Russia has actually successfully tested hypersonic missiles on multiple occasions, to the point now they're talking about bringing these things into mass production next year. Do you know what mass production means? They're going to have a fucking conveyor belt that's running 24/7, making nothing but hypersonic nuclear missiles, man, and the warheads that go in them. And we're starting to see that happen, man. The Medes are being stirred up. Verse 18 says what? Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare. When these missiles are shot off, they're going to be indiscriminate, man. They're not going to care how old you are. For you women, they're not going to care how pretty you are, how fat your ass is, or how wet your box is. They're not going to give a damn about none of that. For you men, they're not going to care about how strong you is, or what kind of car you driving, and how much you got in your fucking bank account, how big your house is. The missiles are not going to care about any of that, man. They're coming they coming to make a sore slaughter in the land of Idumea, man. You see? Hey, children are included. They're not exempt either. Verse 19 says what? In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, how did the Most High overthrow Sodom and Gomorrah, man? By way of fire and brimstone. That's how he did it. See, America's about to suffer the same fate for all the nastiness that they're doing here in this place. But most importantly, for what they've done to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which are the Israelites according to the Bible. Fire is about to rain down upon this place, man. Verse 20 says what? It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, making it that desolate wilderness that we read about in Jeremiah 50. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. Ain't gonna be no more heathen nations coming up here and coming to America, setting up their ramen shops. You see franchising fucking 7-Elevens and Wendy's and so forth and so on, man. Ain't gonna be no more of that happening. Ain't gonna be no more American dream once that fire rains from the skies, man. See? Nobody's gonna inhabit here. Let's read about the new inhabitants of America when this place finishes burning. Verse 21 says what? But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures. And owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. That's what's going to be. Those are the new inhabitants of America very soon. Desert creatures. Verse 22 says what? And wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged, man. Why? Because the Most High is about to put an end to all this wickedness that's going on here in this land. You see, that's being spewed forth from this land into the four corners of the earth. The Most High is about to destroy this place. And once again, most importantly, the Most High is destroying this place. Why? For what you people have done unto the Israelites. Once again, which are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We are the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, man. And you have been destroying and murdering, raping and pillaging the apple of the Most High's eye, man. And you're in big trouble. You see? Let's get another one. This is I'm tripping. Yup. Zechariah 14:12 says what? And this shall be the plague wherewith Yahawah will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. And that plague that's plague and flesh mixed together. And that plague is what? Those thermonuclear missiles and that fire that it's going to bring. You see, and that fire is going to be so hot that what's going to happen? It tells you right here. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. Matter of fact, to show you it's talking about fire, let's define this word consume. When you go into consume, to fit the context of what's being talked about, because we ain't talking about eating and drinking shit. We ain't talking about buying no goods to use up. We're talking about what? Especially of a fire, completely destroy. You see that? Destroy, demolish, lay waste, wipe out, annihilate, devastate, raise. Woo, that's right. Just like you motherfuckers said, raise it when y'all was destroying our temple. Hey, we're going to be saying the same thing to YAHAWASHI when he's destroying this place. You see? Completely destroy, right? All right. All right. We're going to fucking see. Yeah, it says what? Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. What's going to have the power to do this? Those 200 million thermonuclear warheads that's going to rain down upon Babylon the Great from the east to the west, from the north to the south, everything in between. Every square inch of America is going to be engulfed in thermonuclear fire, man. And all of you wicked ass people with it. You see? Okay, that's it on that. Now let's get the video. I think I made a point.
No, this is something that will directly impact me and you, Tucker, every single one of your viewers, and all of our loved ones. And this is a war that is not a game. It's a war in which there are no winners, because you've got, thousands of nuclear weapons that the United States has aimed towards Russia. Russia has thousands of nuclear weapons aimed towards us that could hit any town or city in America in less than 30 minutes and exact a cost upon every one of us that would result in excruciating death and suffering beyond comprehension. Hundreds of millions of people dying and suffering, seeing their flesh being burned from their bones. This is something that you can't really even imagine, and it's a cost that we will all pay.
Wrap it up on this, man. You heard it. Malachi 4:1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahawah bahasham Yahawashai of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. This is the fate of America. This is the fate of everyone outside of the nation of the remnant of Israel. You see? Oh man, destruction unto you, man. Let's see it. I know where it is. It's Isaiah. There it is. You see? Because Lord will not be a part of the number, man. We're the only ones who are going to make it up out of here. Isaiah 26:20 says what? Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed, because the elect of the nation of Israel is going to be gathered up by YAHAWASHI into the chariot to escape this nuclear destruction that's going to plague this place. And if you're not a part of the elect, once again, your fate is death by fire if you make it that far. You see? So yeah, you heard the video. You see? Went right along with prophecies. This is what's coming. This is what the Most High has prepared for the land of America, man. And all of you wicked people with it. So with that, I'm going to give all praise, all honor, all glory to YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth according to the Bible through the spirit and power of YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, and a sincere peace and salutations to all you hopeful elect Akim out there pushing this word in all truth and sincerity, doing the work as YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI has created us to do. With that, I'm going to say shalom, wa, abba, abba.